We were involved in church, serving in groups and working, 8 to 5 jobs, doing the American Christian things, which are all good things. But there was something within me that just knew there was something more, and really was just crying out, Lord, what is this? If this is all life is meant to be, then this is pointless. I feel like I'm just running into a brick wall, living my life and doing good things, but there's something more I'm supposed to be doing here. What is it? Hi, my name is Nathan, and this is my wife Tabitha, and we are stepping in to become the American directors at Door of Faith Orphanage in Baja, California, Mexico. About 3 years ago, I went down to Door of Faith Orphanage, just went down for a short-term missions trip for a week, and got to see the orphanage, see the kids and the amazing work that they do down there. And just last fall, the current directors of Door of Faith reached out to Tabitha and I, and were asking us if we'd be interested in joining their American staff to kind of head up the groups and facilitate and manage that when groups come down for missions trips. And Tabitha hadn't been down to Door of Faith yet, so we, in the beginning of March, went down to Door of Faith Orphanage, and really from the moment we stepped on the campus, just had this absolute peace that the Lord is calling us to be missionaries at this orphanage.
There's just this knowing. And I think that knowing is really difficult to describe, because it's not this God spoke to me, or somebody said something specific like Nathan had that was just, it pierced and it was affirming. It was just this deep knowing that this is it. There's no question about it. There's no doubts. There's no let's pray about this for a month. This is it. This is it. And it was this time of just sweetness, I think, this sweetness of this intimacy with the Lord of I know this is what you have for us. There was a specific phrasing that DJ, the director, had used, and he said, coming down into this role is a life a little more the extreme. And in the moment that he said those words, the Holy Spirit just internally said to me, Nathan, I created you for a life a little more the extreme. And it was this absolute confirmation that this is the life that God has called us to, and he's been creating us for, and he's been preparing us for all our lives. I think this was, for me, probably the first time in my life that I haven't questioned, Lord, is this something you want me to do? And then my prayer is focused around him giving me that peace and that confidence. And I'm praying, Lord, if this is not you, make this abundantly clear, remove the peace and put a block in front of us. Because we don't want to step into something that isn't ours to step into, or isn't the timing for us to step into it. And last year I was sharing with a friend of mine, a really dear friend, just some of the pains of my heart. And one of the things she said was that she really just sees me surrounded by all these children, so many, and so many to raise up, to build up, to love on. And it was this moment that the Lord just continued to bring back to my mind as we're praying, what do you have for us in this next season? How do we get there? What does that look like? I just kept bringing to mind again of this is something that I promised and I spoke through to you over a year ago. And it was just part of that knowing, I think, again, of sharing that time and time again, this is what I'm telling you, this is what I've promised, and this is what I'm bringing you into. And just a really incredible moment that God, you use people to affirm, you use people to speak into us, and to bring us to pave this way to bring us into what you have for us and what you have for then others too. Yeah, just thinking back over the last year, now having said yes to going down to Mexico, I've really seen how the Lord has been preparing my heart and just kind of shaping me for this. I think in the last year, he's really emphasized in my life that he's provider God. I'm very business minded. I love finances, budgeting. I mean, that's my niche.
And over the last year, he's really started just to work in my heart and break this down, that my desire for whatever a house looks like, or a vehicle, or the next best job, all these things are his to bless with, and they're not mine to chase after and pursue and create a plan and go for it. And really has caused me to step back and recognize, Lord, you are a provider, God, and you provide all these things, and I just need to step back and wait and listen and be quiet. And I think it was really his preparation for going down to Mexico, because this isn't a paid position. This is, fully support raised, and we're just going to continue to trust that he's provider God, and he's going to meet our needs while we're down there, and he's gonna come through because he's faithful.
Last year, Nathan was on his way home from work on 2 different occasions and got rear-ended on his way home from work. And both of the cars were totaled, and it was just this time of like, oh my word, like both of our cars, now we're carless. And this happened within a 6-month time frame. And so during that time, we're trying to figure out what do we do. For 6 months, we had been down to 1 car, and then now we're down to none. We have no cars. What are we going to do? And so we had reached out to our pastors, and they connected us with a couple that had a vehicle. And so we were borrowing the vehicle for a time, and we thought maybe they want to sell this vehicle. It's an extra one. We heard that, they were trying to figure out what to do with it, and let's just kind of open conversation and see if they'd be willing to let us buy this vehicle. And so we started having conversation about it, and we kind of just asked, like, well, what's in your budget? And we're like, well, like, what is in our budget? That kind of seems like an awkward question, right? And so we're trying to figure out, like, how do we, see what's within our budget and be generous and fair, and just kind of taking time and space to pray about those things. And we come back to conversation with them, and they just said, we want to continue with our original purpose for this vehicle, and we want to gift it to you. And at the time, we were doing foster care, and we had some other children in our home. And so we thought, this is to have sibling sets, this is going to increase our capacity, and what a blessing. Wow, Lord, you're so good, and you're using people to show that goodness. And now looking back, thinking, wow, Lord, you've been paving the way for Mexico. It would have been difficult to have 2 sedans that were smaller in Mexico on those dirt roads. And so we see that he's really just blessed us with a vehicle that can handle the Mexican roads, and that we don't have to worry about it. And it's low mileage. It's a reliable vehicle that can handle this. And we've just been grateful. It just, an overwhelming gratefulness of, Lord, you use people over and over again to take care of your children, and to pave a way to care for others even deeper.
And even in that last year, I think there was a lot of wrestling within me, with knowing or wondering, I guess, what my purpose in my life is. I had a mentor in high school, and he preached religiously purpose and potential. And I think in this last year that just reverberated in my mind so much. We were involved in church, serving in groups, and working 8 to 5 jobs, doing the American Christian things, which are all good things. But there was something within me that just knew there was something more, and really was just crying out, Lord, what is this? If this is all life is meant to be, then this is pointless. I feel like I'm just running into a brick wall, living my life and doing good things, but there's something more I'm supposed to be doing here. What is it? And coming to this point where he's called us down to Mexico, it really is just kind of lifted the veil from my eyes to see this is what you've created us to do. This is the calling that you've had on our lives. We just weren't ready for it yet. You weren't ready for us to step down there. There was more preparation to be done, but this is what you've been gearing us for really all of our lives.
I remember Nathan and I talking early on in our marriage, the first couple of years, of just feeling frustrated in our jobs. And just telling each other the same thing over and over again. Like both of us were saying this, that our jobs, we were like, there's not a niche for our jobs. We're not just on one track of, I become a CNA and a nurse and kind of continue on this path. I had done CNA work, and then I stepped into a marketing position, and then I stepped into teaching first grade. And then the last few years I've been doing adult education at a local hospital. And I remember Nathan saying the same thing of he's been in these kind of different focuses in business administration and finance. And it's been a gift, I think, truly, that the Lord was strategic and he knew. But it really has been a preparation for us to step into this role at the orphanage. And I'm confident in the next 6 months, in the next year, in the next 10 years, 30 years, we'll be able to look back and go, yeah, that role as a CNA, or that role teaching children, or those conversations, what I was learning, the tools that I was really putting in my toolkit are going to help me in this role at the orphanage. I just think it's really incredible how kind he is to us.
My sister is adopted, so foster and adoption has always kind of been a part of my life, and seeing that is really such a prevalent need, and really not a need that everyone can or probably should step into. Tabitha and I really felt like the Lord's prepared us and given us hearts to care for others and to step into difficult situations, whatever they may be. So we felt like we needed to open up our home to allow it to be a safe place for kids to come and have stability and love, and hopefully reconciliation with their families long term. But we really wanted our home to be a space that God can use.
We've wanted our home to be a healing home. Like that is what we set out and what we felt like the Lord really had for our home. And so we've had, twins for the last 2 years. We had them since they were 9 months old, just giving their mom a space to get out of crisis, truthfully, and recharge and rejuvenate and really stabilize. And it's been beautiful, beautiful. And it's been 2 years of cuddles and sleepless nights and all the in-between, right? But it's really been an opportunity where we've seen healing happen in her and even in her family at large and in these boys. And it's been incredible. We had a 6-month-old baby girl for 6 months, and the baby that we got was abused and neglected and abandoned, and her voice was hoarse, and she would only sleep on us for like a month. That first month we had her would only sleep on us. If we put her down, it was crying, but the baby that left us was a joyful baby. She had so much joy. And that might be funny to say about a little baby, but truly the baby that we had in the beginning was drastically different than the baby that left our home. And so a healing home, like that's what we've wanted and been open to. And when I think about our time in Idaho, or just when Nathan talks about the Lord preparing us, like that really has been our heart for children in our home. I think it's been God's heart for us too, of just that not only is our home going to be a place where other people heal, but it's going to be a place where we heal. And we're grateful.
Just recently, I had a friend and a mentor encourage me with a Bible verse as we're stepping into missions at Door of Faith that I think is really going to be an emphasis for us as it just captures the heart of God as He wants to care well for His people. James 1:27 says, "Pure and undefiled religion before God the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their trouble, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world." And I think that really is it. That really hits home for me as we've brought kids into our home to create a space where they can find love and healing that only God the Father can give. And us going down to love on people in Mexico, and specifically these children at Door of Faith, hopefully in a way that only He can do, and to be used as purely as instruments of that. We're just thoroughly excited and can't wait to be a part of this.